Welcome back to Stoic Reflections, where we explore timeless wisdom to help you live a more intentional and fulfilling life. Today, we're diving deep into a fascinating aspect of Stoicism. Those 8 things men often choose to keep hidden from women. This isn't about secrecy or mistrust. Instead, it's about self-mastery, emotional resilience, and living with purpose. Through the lens of Stoic philosophy, we'll uncover how these choices reflect strength, discipline, and respect for oneself and others. Whether you're here for personal growth, relationship insights, or simply curious about Stoicism, this video is packed with practical wisdom you can apply to your daily life. Let's get started. 1. Personal weaknesses. In the Stoic mindset, a man adhering to its principles maintains steadfast values that enable him to confront every challenge life throws his way, including his own vulnerabilities. Stoicism emphasizes that true worth doesn't lie in avoiding trials, but in how one responds when faced with them. A Stoic man does not complain or seek comfort when encountering suffering. Instead, he accepts these challenges with a cool and rational demeanor. This isn't denial of pain or suppression of emotions, but learning to face them with patience, courage, and enduring willpower. A core tenet of Stoicism is recognizing that external circumstances often exceed our control, yet our response remains within our grasp. Rather than seeking empathy or pity from others, even loved ones, he relies on his inner strength, understanding that the greatest power lies in self-discipline and resilience. Keeping weaknesses private isn't about hiding the truth, but ensuring they don't become burdens for others. Instead, he focuses on cultivating his soul and spirit to overcome them. Stoicism prioritizes self-control and building inner strength without depending on external validation or sympathy. While many believe sharing vulnerabilities and seeking support signifies strength, Stoicism offers a different perspective. The Stoic man values enduring hardships silently, not to boast but to nurture a resilient and tranquil mind. This silence isn't emotional suppression but a conscious choice, responding to adversity with inner strength. For someone guided by Stoic thinking, weaknesses aren't threats to self-esteem but opportunities for growth and self-improvement. In the Stoic worldview, every difficulty isn't an obstacle but a stepping stone, to refine character and elevate virtue. 2. Personal mistakes. Within Stoic philosophy, approaching mistakes transcends mere correction. It carries profound significance as an opportunity for growth and self-perfection. According to Stoics, errors aren't shameful or fearful occurrences, but invaluable lessons that make us wiser. As Stoic man faces his mistakes with humility, discipline, and unwavering determination to learn. He understands there's no need to disclose every misstep indiscriminately, especially to his partner, as this might be misconstrued as ignorance or carelessness. It's not fear or shame that motivates him to conceal faults but awareness that mistakes are personal learning experiences, not always necessary or beneficial to share. The Stoic man values humility and careful consideration in speech and action. He recognizes mistakes as natural human occurrences, but doesn't take them lightly. Instead, he approaches every task with focus and meticulous thought to minimize risks. When errors occur, he neither avoids nor blames others, but confronts them calmly and wisely. He views each mistake as a chance to grow, better understand himself, and adjust future behavior. This forms the foundation of Stoic practice, using mistakes as stepping stones to build stronger character and greater virtue. The Stoic knows how we handle mistakes truly defines us. They don't merely fix them. They use them to enhance critical thinking skills and personal qualities. Through this approach, mistakes cease being feared and transform into valuable tools for cultivating a better life. A Stoic man doesn't view errors as something to dread or avoid. Instead of drowning in self-blame or guilt, he analyzes his faults with clarity and reason. He focuses on identifying root causes, extracting valuable lessons, and seeing them as opportunities for self-improvement. 3. Personal dreams. A man guided by Stoic thinking perceives dreams and aspirations through a lens of realism, pragmatism, and self-reliance. To him, dreams aren't fantastical illusions or distant ambitions, but meaningful goals aligned with his values and realistic capabilities. A Stoic exercises caution when sharing dreams, particularly with a woman, not out of secrecy, but to avoid falling prey to vanity or the need for external validation. For him, this restraint reflects discipline and focus, not a lack of ambition. Stoicism teaches pursuing dreams based on genuine value and personal development rather than seeking recognition or applause. He understands seeking approval from others, even a partner, only leads to disappointment and obscures the process of self-perfection. A Stoic shapes his dreams around what he can control and influence. He doesn't indulge in far-fetched fantasies but sets clear, achievable objectives through perseverance and effort. These dreams align closely with Stoic philosophy, emphasizing present tasks and righteous actions. Rather than flaunting ambition, he chooses to live devotedly, advancing toward his goals quietly. He finds happiness and fulfillment not at the destination but in the steadfast and honest journey itself. With this approach, a man guided by Stoic thinking not only lives a meaningful life, but also inspires those around him through actions rather than words. His dreams are specific, attainable goals that bring real value to his life and others. He channels energy into meaningful endeavors, avoiding wasted time or resources on uncontrollable or unproductive pursuits. The Stoic understands chasing unrealistic or misaligned goals only results in disappointment and confusion. His relationship with dreams is defined by strong self-reliance and autonomy. He doesn't rely on others' confirmation or guidance to shape his objectives. Instead, he trusts his judgment and taps into internal resources to turn dreams into reality. This self-reliance doesn't mean rejecting help but affirming that his happiness and success depends solely on himself. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This highlights that true fulfillment stems internally, shaped by our mindset and worldview. A man guided by Stoic thinking doesn't dream wildly but directs aspirations through a realistic lens, focusing on core values and abilities. He pursues goals that bring genuine meaning and satisfaction, aligning with his life principles. This approach demonstrates a strong commitment to a purposeful, autonomous life guided by solid values. Through this, he achieves balance between aspiration and reality, dreams and responsibility, living a meaningful and fulfilling existence. 4. Personal emotions. In Stoic thought, emotions aren't meant to be suppressed or denied. Instead, they are seen as valuable signals providing deep insights into our inner state, helping us better understand ourselves. A Stoic man doesn't resist his emotions, but approaches them with profound awareness, mindfulness, and reason. Contrary to popular belief that Stoicism demands coldness or apathy, the Stoic accepts emotions calmly, recognizing them as an unnatural part of being human. However, he doesn't let emotions dictate his actions or judgments. Instead of allowing fleeting feelings to determine responses, he integrates emotional intelligence into deliberate reasoning, ensuring decisions stem from logic and core values. Stoicism teaches that while emotions may naturally arise in response to events, they shouldn't control our lives. A wise Stoic knows how to identify emotions, understand their origins, and choose appropriate reactions, avoiding being swept away by them. He uses emotions as tools for personal growth and enriching his understanding of the world. By maintaining balance between reason and emotion, a Stoic man ensures he reacts to life calmly and proactively. This not only helps navigate life's challenges, but also builds self-control, resilience, and empathy for others. In the Stoic mind, emotions aren't adversaries to conquer but aspects to comprehend and manage. Through this understanding, he lives a more conscious, self-controlled, and harmonious life with himself and the world. The Stoic man doesn't deny his emotions, but understands them deeply. When expressing them to others, he remains cautious. This decision isn't due to indifference but stems from a desire to express emotions constructively and appropriately, ensuring they don't harm or damage relationships. In relationships, including with a partner, he knows that revealing emotions recklessly sometimes brings no positive value. Thus, he chooses to restrain or master certain emotions, preventing them from overwhelming his rationality. The Stoic ideal isn't emotional detachment or separation, but mastery over emotions by choosing the right time and manner of expression. The Stoic conveys calmness and reasonableness rather than appearing irrational or overly emotional. As a precious tool, emotions aren't to be eliminated but refined. They're used to enhance self-awareness, build emotional intelligence, and strengthen relationships with others. This approach exemplifies a harmonious balance between reason and emotion, nurturing self-control, resilience, and thoughtful communication with the world. Eamon, guided by Stoic thinking, views managing emotions as a delicate dance between intellectual awareness and judicious expression. In the grand picture of life, handling emotions becomes the finishing stroke, completing the portrait of a rational, composed, and intelligent individual navigating complex human experiences. Through this, he not only lives balanced but also becomes a steadfast anchor for those around him. 5. Personal secrets. In Stoic philosophy, managing personal secrets ties closely to principles of discretion, honor, and respect. Eamon, guided by Stoic thinking, approaches sharing secrets not with concealment or distrust, but with deep understanding of grace and personal dignity. For a Stoic, secrets aren't merely things to hide but reflections of inner life and personal experiences. He protects them not because they're shameful but because they represent sacred aspects of himself. Not everything in life needs sharing, even with those closest. Discretion is a core virtue in Stoicism, helping a Stoic man maintain self-respect and respect for others. He avoids gossip or speaking ill of others, realizing such actions harm others and degrade his character. Silence in this context isn't fear but respect for personal boundaries and privacy. A Stoic commits to keeping promises and safeguarding secrets entrusted to him. He doesn't betray trust, as doing so contradicts his moral principles. Trustworthiness and honor form the foundation of a Stoic's character, demonstrated not just in handling his secrets but also in protecting others. His approach to secrets reflects consideration and respect. He doesn't reveal, exploit, or misuse confidences. Understanding secrets symbolize trust and mutual respect. By maintaining discretion and honor, a Stoic man builds relationships based on trust and integrity, affirming his value through actions and life principles. He guards his secrets as a way to respect personal dignity and privacy. He doesn't hide truths or evade responsibilities, but sees protecting his inner experiences and life as safeguarding his sacred self. For a Stoic, secrets aren't things to display or share recklessly. He trusts his judgment and prudence to decide what should be shared and what kept private. This trust doesn't reflect isolation or lack of trust in others, but confidence in managing his inner world. Cicero, a renowned orator in the Stoic tradition, once said, "The most divine thing in the world is the human soul." This quote underscores the belief that thoughts, emotions, experiences, and personal secrets are sacred parts of one's identity. By guarding his secrets and respecting others, a Stoic honors this sacredness. Discretion and self-respect help a Stoic man maintain inner peace and strengthen trust-based relationships. He understands not every life aspect needs sharing, as doing so sometimes harms dignity and personal values. This approach not only demonstrates balance between discretion, honor, and respect, but reflects a deep commitment to Stoic principles. Living with integrity, protecting personal boundaries, and valuing inner worth by preserving secrets and respecting both his and others' boundaries, a Stoic man not only lives a respectable life, but also nurtures a virtuous, profound, and serene soul. He embodies solemnity, reason, and self-respect in safeguarding the soul's most precious elements. 6. Personal pain. A man guided by Stoic thinking confronts pain with resilience, calmness, and a commitment to maintaining inner tranquility. For him, pain isn't something to deny or avoid, but a natural part of the human experience. A challenge to overcome and refine oneself. A Stoic understands that openly displaying pain, especially in romantic relationships, might be perceived as weakness or lack of control. However, he doesn't let pain defeat his spirit. Instead, he accepts it calmly, viewing pain as an inevitable part of life and an opportunity to grow and explore himself more deeply. Rather than letting pain dictate mood or behavior, a Stoic man faces it with endurance and resilience. He doesn't moan or complain but endures with gratitude, seeing pain as a valuable lesson. Stoic philosophy teaches that enduring suffering with serenity isn't just a sign of strength, but a transformative act that fosters maturity and self-perfection. This persistence in pain isn't because a Stoic craves suffering or self-harm, but because he recognizes the value of accepting and overcoming adversity. For him, every painful experience is an opportunity to train the mind, strengthen willpower, and develop patience. A Stoic understands that pain, like every other aspect of life, is part of the journey toward perfection. He confronts it not only with endurance but also with gratitude for the lessons pain imparts. Through this, he demonstrates inner strength and the ability to live a meaningful life despite all challenges. The Stoic approaches pain with perseverance, patience, and an unwavering commitment to personal growth. For him, pain isn't something to avoid or eliminate immediately. Instead, he reframes it as a challenge, an opportunity to train inner strength and mature. Stoicism encourages not just facing but embracing pain as part of the life journey. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, once said, "Fire tests gold, and misfortune tests brave men." For a Stoic, challenges and difficulties are like refining fire, revealing true character and resilience. Instead of seeking empathy or showing weakness, a Stoic chooses to bear pain silently, channeling energy into overcoming adversity. He doesn't let pain define him but uses it as an opportunity to strengthen willpower and discover hidden strengths. A unique aspect of a Stoic's approach is the cheerful and calm attitude when confronting pain. This isn't denial of emotions, but a conscious choice to overcome difficulties with courage and faith in the deeper meaning of adversity. Through this, he transforms pain into a transformative element for self-perfection. A Stoic realizes that, like gold refined by fire, human character and inner strength are forged through life's challenges. He embraces adversity not only with resilience but also with gratitude, seeing it as an opportunity for self-improvement. By maintaining a Stoic attitude, cheerfulness, and unwavering stance against pain, a Stoic exemplifies self-mastery. He navigates life's flow with patience and a strong commitment to personal growth, becoming a model of inner strength and unwavering wisdom. 7. Personal joys. In Stoic philosophy, joy is viewed through the lens of moderation and temperance. A Stoic man doesn't reject pleasures or delights in life, but approaches them with consideration and discipline. Joy is part of the human experience but should never overshadow reason or lead him astray from higher values and goals. A Stoic understands that unchecked pleasure can easily become a source of indulgence and addiction. Therefore, he enjoys pleasures moderately, always mindful of their temporary nature. Joy is seen as a reward but not the ultimate goal. This approach isn't a rejection of joy or asceticism but a pursuit of balance. A Stoic man doesn't allow himself to be swept away by desires or cravings. Instead, he recognizes that excessive attachment to joy leads to dissatisfaction and chaos. Instead, he cultivates non-attachment, ensuring he always controls his desires. In Stoicism, joy isn't something to avoid but an opportunity to practice discipline and self-control. A Stoic enjoys happy moments but doesn't let them dominate or distract from larger goals. He avoids excess in any form of pleasure, maintaining moderation to ensure joy doesn't become his master. By balancing joy with reason and virtue, a Stoic lives a harmonious life. He enjoys life's small pleasures without harming inner peace or moral values, always maintaining a calm mind and steadfast will on the path to a meaningful life. A Stoic man doesn't center his life around pleasure but uses it wisely and ethically, ensuring it serves rather than controls him. He doesn't abuse or waste joyful moments but cherishes them mindfully, focusing on quality over quantity. Stoicism emphasizes that true satisfaction doesn't come from indulging desires but from enjoying pleasures moderately and under control. In relationships, especially with women, a Stoic man doesn't rely on others to fulfill his pleasures. Instead, he maintains focus on moderating his desires and pleasures, aligning them with core Stoic virtues like self-control, temperance, and reason. Epicurus, a famous Stoic philosopher, once said, "Freedom isn't achieved by fully indulging every desire but by controlling them." For a Stoic, freedom comes from mastering desires rather than letting them control. This helps him find satisfaction and fulfillment not in indulgence but in enjoying pleasures thoughtfully and disciplined. A Stoic man understands that if not managed, joy can lead to chaos and dissatisfaction. But approached cautiously, he can experience life's good things without diminishing his character or values. This balanced attitude allows him to enjoy and preserve the value of pleasures, turning them into positive motivation rather than dangerous traps. This approach reflects a harmonious blend of reason, temperance, and self-control. A Stoic lives a life not dominated by pleasures but masters them, using them to enrich life while upholding noble Stoic principles. 8. Love for oneself. In Stoicism, love is examined through the lens of independence, self-control, and reason. A Stoic man doesn't let love become a reason to lose himself or bind excessively. He loves with freedom and clarity, maintaining personal principles and not letting emotions cloud reason or affect autonomy. For a Stoic, love is a beautiful emotion but needs guidance by wisdom. He doesn't love possessively or dependently but sees it as an exchange of mutual respect and care. This creates a healthy relationship where both individuals remain free to be themselves and have space to grow independently. A Stoic man values love but doesn't demand or expect it to become a burden in relationships. He views love as a gift, not something to demand, fostering gratitude in how he connects with his partner. This attitude not only protects relationship freedom but deepens bonds, as both feel respected and understood. Stoic philosophy encourages loving with reason, not to diminish love's emotional value, but to ensure it doesn't lead to blindness or harm its personal values. By loving autonomously and respectfully, a Stoic man maintains balance between emotion and reason, creating lasting and meaningful love. With this approach, a Stoic doesn't just love others but also himself, valuing dignity and virtue in love. He understands that true love isn't clinging or possession, but harmony between two independent individuals, building a relationship based on respect, equality, and mutual growth. A Stoic expresses love not through flowery words or ostentation, but through daily actions and conduct. He believes true love lies not in words but in care, understanding, and support shown in every small interaction. How he loves exemplifies Stoicism, blending sincerity with reason. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor and philosopher, once said, "The best revenge is not to become like your enemy." This quote emphasizes steadfastness in upholding virtue, even when facing adversity or negative emotions in love. A Stoic applies this principle, staying loyal to his values and principles. He doesn't let emotions overwhelm, leading to actions or decisions contrary to his inherent goodness. The Stoic man's love is characterized by a delicate balance between emotional depth and reason. He loves sincerely but doesn't lose himself. He values independence and autonomy in relationships, not clinging or depending on his partner, always maintaining respect and virtue. With this approach, he builds meaningful relationships where both individuals grow and mature, unburdened by unrealistic expectations. A Stoic's love is a source of strength, helping both become better versions of themselves without losing personal values. Ultimately, love in Stoic philosophy is an inseparable part of a happy and harmonious life. A Stoic man loves deeply and responsibly, but always maintains reason and dignity. This not only creates fulfilling relationships, but helps him live according to noble Stoic principles, achieving balance and tranquility in the soul. These are the 8 things a man should keep discreet from women, according to the spirit of Stoicism. This doesn't mean he should deceive, be cold, or distant, but maintain discretion and humility while remaining honest and loyal. The Stoic man continuously expresses warmth and affection, but does so rationally and independently. He behaves not as a boy but as a mature man, steadfast in his values and virtues. Keeping these matters private isn't about concealing oneself, but revealing the best version of oneself. Through this he demonstrates courage, wisdom, honor, strength, temperance, joy, and true love. This is how a Stoic man lives and loves, expressing himself through actions, virtues, and noble ideals. This way of life isn't easy but worthwhile, not common but precious. It's not for everyone but for those ready to face challenges to live a virtuous life. Stoics are followers of Stoicism, and Stoic Reflections is here to help you become one. Start your journey to becoming the strongest, most rational, and virtuous version of yourself today. If you want to explore more about Stoicism and how to improve your life positively, don't forget to subscribe to Stoic Reflections and click the bell icon to stay updated with the latest videos. Stoic Reflections will continue bringing you relatable and practical insights to easily apply Stoic principles to daily life. This is the path to finding joy, peace, and becoming the best version of yourself. Thank you for watching. Remember, true happiness is within your reach. Start your journey of self-mastery today. And now, stay tuned for an engaging discussion between Ethan and Emma, 2 insightful guests who will delve deeper into how Stoic principles can transform modern relationships and personal growth. Their conversation promises to be both enlightening and inspiring, offering practical wisdom you won't want to miss.
All right, so get ready, because today we're taking a deep dive into something, well, maybe a little unexpected. 8 untold secrets men keep from women.
Ooh, that's intriguing.
But before everyone starts jumping to conclusions, let me clarify. This isn't your typical relationship advice kind of thing. We're actually looking at an article. It's from a website called Stoic Reflections.
Okay, I'm familiar with that site.
Yeah, and it, well, like the name suggests, it explores how Stoicism applies to modern life.
Right, that ancient philosophy. Makes sense.
Yeah, and what's really interesting is how the article uses these secrets, as a way to jump into Stoic principles like self-reliance, resilience, personal growth.
I see. So it's more about using these so-called secrets as a framework.
Exactly. It's like a glimpse into a different way of thinking. Even if you don't know much about Stoicism, I think there's some interesting stuff here.
I'm all ears.
All right, so secret number 1 is about men keeping their weaknesses private.
Okay.
But the article says it's not about, like, hiding or being ashamed. It's more about relying on your own inner strength, not seeking, pity from other people.
That's an interesting take.
Right. It seems kind of counterintuitive. We're always told to be vulnerable and share our struggles.
Yeah, you're right. That's the message we usually hear.
So I'm curious, what's the Stoic perspective on this?
Well, imagine this. You've hit a roadblock at work. Something's not going your way. Instead of immediately venting to your colleagues, what if you just took a moment to reflect on your own strengths? What resources you have to draw on.
So it's like turning inward instead of outward.
Yeah, the Stoic principle really encourages shifting that focus from seeking validation from others to actually cultivating that inner strength. Like, how can you tackle this using your own skills?
Okay, so it's not about denying your weaknesses, but more about how you choose to deal with them.
Exactly. It's about confronting those challenges head on, but with a sense of calm, that rational demeanor. Stoicism is all about focusing on what you can control. And a lot of times, that's your own response.
I can see how that shift in mindset could be pretty empowering.
For sure. A Stoic, they wouldn't necessarily broadcast their struggles, but they would work on them internally, focusing on building resilience and self-discipline.
Okay, so on to secret number 2, and I think a lot of people can relate to this one, not sharing every mistake with your partner.
Oh, interesting.
But the article is very clear that this isn't about hiding things out of shame. It's more about seeing mistakes as personal learning experiences. So like each mistake is a chance to grow. Is that a common idea in Stoicism?
Oh, absolutely. Stoics believe fundamentally every mistake, it's an opportunity. A chance to learn and, to become better. They also really emphasize discretion in communication, not like burdening others unnecessarily.
So not sweeping things under the rug, but kind of reflecting on those mistakes, using them as fuel for growth.
Exactly. You own your actions and you use those mistakes to fuel your own personal growth.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, secret number 3. This one caught my eye. Men being careful about sharing their dreams.
I wonder why.
Well, the article says it's to avoid vanity and the need for validation from others.
Interesting. But wouldn't that stifle ambition?
That's what I thought too, but Stoicism really emphasizes a different approach. It's more about focusing on that journey, of self-improvement, not so much about external recognition.
Okay, so it's more about the internal process rather than the external validation.
Right. They believe in aligning your dreams with your values and capabilities and putting in the work without needing that, round of applause.
So working towards your goals with a sense of purpose, but maybe not shouting it from the rooftops.
Exactly. It's like quietly working towards your goals, but with a real sense of purpose.
I like that. It takes the pressure off a bit.
Yeah, it's about finding fulfillment in that process, regardless of whether other people know about it or not.
Makes sense.
Okay, secret number 4 seems like a big one. Approaching emotions with awareness and reason.
Oh, that's key.
Now, the article is very careful to point out that Stoicism is not about being an emotionless robot.
Of course, yeah.
It's more about not letting the emotions control your actions. Which, it makes me think, isn't that kind of what we call emotional intelligence?
It really is similar. It's about recognizing that your emotions, they're signals, valuable ones, but they don't have to rule you.
So it's more about recognizing them, but choosing how to respond.
Right. Stoicism emphasizes not being ruled by your emotions, but understanding them. Think about it like this. You're stuck in traffic. You feel that road rage bubbling up. A Stoic wouldn't deny the anger, but they would pause before reacting. Like take a deep breath, remind themselves that the traffic is out of their control. Choose to focus on something more positive.
So instead of laying on the roaring, you take a breath and maybe turn on some music.
Exactly. It's all about recognizing where those feelings are coming from, their potential impact, and then choosing your actions based on logic and your core values.
Okay, secret number 5 seems pretty straightforward on the surface. Keeping secrets is about honor and respecting trust.
Right, that makes sense.
But the article actually dives a little deeper. It talks about secrets as reflections of our inner lives. So I'm wondering, what's that Stoic angle?
Well, for Stoics, discussion, trustworthiness, those are really important. They get that not everything needs to be shared, even in close relationships.
Right, some things are sacred.
Right, personal, not meant to be shared lightly.
So it's not about being secretive just for the sake of it.
No, not at all. It's about respecting boundaries, yours and theirs, recognizing that sometimes true intimacy. It's not about knowing absolutely everything about a person. It's about honoring their individuality and the things that they choose to keep private.
Okay, that actually makes me think about a few things. All right, so this next one, secret number 6, this one sounds kind of tough. It says, Stoic men confront pain with resilience and see it as a chance to grow. But wouldn't that make them seem distant or unemotional?
Yeah, you can see how it could be perceived that way. But remember, Stoicism, it's all about acceptance.
Okay.
They believe that pain, it's just part of life, inevitable. And they see it as this opportunity to develop strength, inner strength. So it's not about denying it, pretending it's not there.
You face it head on.
Exactly. And you use it to refine yourself. It's about finding strength, even gratitude, in the face of adversity.
That's a pretty powerful concept.
It is. It really is.
Okay, now on to secret number 7. This one, honestly, it made me chuckle a little bit because it talks about Stoics enjoying pleasures, but in moderation.
Oh, that's interesting.
I always picture Stoics as being, incredibly serious and disciplined.
Right, the stereotypical image.
Yeah, but the article, it says they can enjoy things, they just don't let those joys control them. So how does that work?
Well, it's important to remember that Stoicism isn't about deprivation or denying yourself pleasure. It's more about finding that balance.
I see.
They believe in enjoying those good things, but without getting attached or letting those pleasures, rule you.
So it's about being present, appreciating the good, but not like letting it take over.
Yeah, like, yes, I can have this piece of cake, but I don't need to eat the whole thing. It's about finding joy in the moment, but keeping that self-control, not letting those fleeting pleasures dictate all your actions.
Okay, that sounds like a pretty healthy approach.
It's about finding that balance.
All right, last but not least, secret number 8. And this one, I gotta say, it threw me for a loop. Living oneself is a secret.
Oh, wow. Explain that one.
Right. The article talks about it in terms of independence and not losing yourself in a relationship. It's a pretty interesting take.
It is. It really highlights that emphasis on self-awareness, independence, living in accordance with your own values, even in the context of, being in love.
So it's not about being selfish or avoiding relationships, but more about maintaining your own sense of self, even within that relationship.
Precisely. It's recognizing that true love, it allows both people to grow, to flourish, not to become, dependent or lose themselves in the other person.
Wow. That's powerful.
It is. A lot to think about there.
We've covered a lot of ground here, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. But you know what? This is just the beginning. We've explored these 8 secrets, how they tie into Stoic principles, but there's so much more to uncover.
All right, so welcome back to our deep dive into the 8 untold secrets men keep from women. I gotta say, this article from Stoic Reflections, it's really got me thinking.
It is pretty thought-provoking.
Yeah. And in part 1, we kind of went through each of these secrets, right? And what I realized, what really struck me, is they're not really about keeping things hidden,
Right.
It's more about, approaching life, approaching these challenges with that Stoic mindset.
Yeah, and what's really cool about Stoicism, and I think this is important to emphasize, is that it's not just some, theoretical philosophy.
Right.
These are ideas that you can actually apply to your own life. It doesn't matter if you're a man, woman, or you've never even, thought about Stoicism before.
Okay, so let's get practical. How can we actually, use these Stoic principles? Let's start with that first one. The one about keeping weaknesses private. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that, because we're always told, be vulnerable, share your struggles.
Right, right. But it's not about denying your weaknesses, pretending they don't exist. It's about how you approach them.
Okay.
Remember that Stoic idea, focusing on what you can control. So instead of immediately seeking validation from others or, wanting pity, what if you focused on your own inner strength, your resilience?
Okay, I think I'm starting to get it. So let's say you're feeling overwhelmed at work. Instead of complaining to everyone about how much you have to do, you take a step back. And you think, okay, what can I control here? How can I, use my skills to tackle this?
Exactly. You hit the nail on the head. It's about owning your growth, using those challenges to build character.
So it's a mindset shift.
It is. It's powerful. Instead of, woe is me, everything's going wrong, it's, okay, what can I learn here? How can I improve? And with mistakes, too, it's not dwelling on them, but analyzing. What did you learn? How can you do better next time?
I see how that could be really empowering. Okay, what about the second secret, the one about not sharing every mistake? I think, we've all been there. We tend to overshare, especially when we're feeling insecure or something.
Oh, for sure. It's natural. We're social creatures, We crave that connection, support.
Yeah.
But Stoicism, it offers a different perspective. It reminds us that discretion, it's valuable too.
Okay.
It's not about hiding things out of shame. It's about choosing your words carefully, thinking about the impact they might have.
A little be mindful of what you share. And why?
Precisely. Sometimes, maybe the most helpful thing you can do is process that mistake on your own, learn from it, and then move forward without, necessarily burdening other people.
Taking responsibility, but quietly.
You got it.
Okay, let's talk about dreams. The article suggested being careful about sharing those, which seems kind of counterintuitive, right? In a world where everyone's like, manifest, put it out there. How does that fit with Stoicism?
It's interesting, right? Because Stoicism, it offers this really refreshing alternative to that pressure of constant external validation.
Okay.
Remember, it's all about focusing on what you can control.
Right.
You can control your effort, your dedication, your commitment to your goals. What you can't control is how other people see them. Or if they, clap for you just for having an aspiration.
So it's about finding satisfaction in the work itself, not needing validation for just having a dream.
Exactly. You pursue your dreams because they matter to you, not because you're looking for a pat on the back. And that can be so freeing.
Yeah, I get that. Okay, I'm still struggling a bit with this whole being less open about your emotions thing, especially in relationships. It feels like it goes against everything we're told about communication and being vulnerable.
It's a common concern, but it's important to remember, with Stoicism, it's not about suppressing emotions. It's not about becoming like some unfeeling robot.
Okay, good.
It's about acknowledging those emotions, understanding them, and then choosing how you respond.
So taking that pause before reacting.
Exactly. Instead of immediately lashing out or shutting down, you give yourself a moment.
To process.
Yes. Take a breath, acknowledge those feelings, and then decide, okay, how do I want to act here? It's about not letting your emotions control the situation. You're in the driver's seat. You choose a response based on your values.
I can see how that would be helpful, like avoiding arguments. Or maybe not saying something you'll regret later.
Right, you're more in control. Okay, what about the secret of keeping secrets? That one seems pretty straightforward, right? Honor, respecting trust.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It is, but the article, it goes a little deeper. It's about recognizing that some things, they're just deeply personal, not meant to be shared lightly.
So it's not just about keeping things hidden.
Right, it's about boundaries, honoring those boundaries, yours and theirs, and understanding that even in the closest relationships, true intimacy isn't about knowing absolutely everything about a person.
It's about respecting those things they keep private.
Exactly.
Okay, let's talk about that secret, about confronting pain with resilience and seeing it as a chance to grow. That's a tough one. How do we reconcile that with our human instinct to just avoid pain and seek comfort?
Yeah, this is one of those things about Stoicism that's really challenging, but also super powerful.
Okay.
Stoics, they understand that pain is just part of life. It's going to happen. And they choose to face it head on instead of running away.
But how can we possibly see pain as a good thing?
It's not about seeing it as inherently good, but recognizing its potential. Every challenge, every obstacle, it's an opportunity to develop strength, resilience, to become wiser.
So instead of letting it break you, you use it to become stronger.
Yes. You find meaning in that struggle. You realize that even those tough experiences, they teach us. They make us better.
Okay, I'm really starting to see how this Stoic mindset can be helpful for all of those inevitable ups and downs.
It's a cool kit for life, really.
What about that idea of enjoying pleasures but in moderation? I always thought Stoics were all about, discipline, self-denial.
Right, that's a common misconception. Stoicism, it's about balance, not deprivation. They believe in enjoying good things, but without becoming attached or letting them control you.
So enjoying that piece of cake but not needing to eat the whole thing.
Exactly. Appreciate that night out with friends, but don't let it derail your whole week. It's about, savoring those moments without letting them become an obsession.
It's about enjoyment, but not depending on it for your happiness.
You got it. And finally, we have that secret about loving yourself.
That one really threw me off. I never thought of self-love as something to keep hidden.
Right. It's an interesting way to phrase it. But remember, the article's using secret metaphorically.
Right.
What it's really highlighting is that Stoic emphasis on self-awareness, independence, living by your values.
So nurturing your own individuality, even in a relationship. Not losing yourself in loving someone else.
Exactly. It's recognizing that true love, it allows both people to flourish, to grow, not become dependent or, lose themselves.
This has been so insightful. I feel like I'm really starting to grasp up the power of Stoicism and how practical it is.
Me too. It's really resonated with me.
We've covered a lot, though.
We have, and there's still more to explore.
Welcome back, everyone. It's been quite a journey, this deep dive.
It has.
I gotta say, this whole exploration of secrets men keep, it's really been an eye-opener for one.
I know what you mean.
Who knew that an article like that would lead us to Stoicism?
Right. It's amazing how these things connect.
It is. And in parts 1 and 2, we kind of unpacked all those secrets, right? We saw how they tie into those core Stoic principles. But now I'm thinking, okay, so what? How do we actually use this stuff?
That's the key question, isn't it? How do we apply it?
Yeah, how do we integrate these ideas into our own lives?
Well, one of the most powerful things about Stoicism, and we've touched on this a few times already, is that idea of focusing on what you can control.
Right, that seems to be a big theme. But how do we actually do that? The world, I mean, it feels so chaotic sometimes.
It does, but it starts with recognizing that you can't control everything. You can't control external events, But what you can control is your own thoughts, your actions, how you respond to those events.
Okay.
So instead of getting caught up in the worry, the frustration over things you can't change, you focus on what you can influence.
So it's about choosing where you direct your energy.
Exactly. Like, yeah, instead of stressing about traffic, maybe you focus on enjoying the music or, catching up on a podcast.
Right, you empower yourself to take action where you can, and then accept what's beyond your control.
That's it. That's the Stoic approach.
That makes a lot of sense. What other practices can help us, cultivate that more Stoic way of being?
Mindfulness is a big one. It's all about paying attention to the present moment. No judgment, just noticing your thoughts, your feelings as they come up without getting swept away by them.
So it's like instead of reacting, without thinking, you create that space to observe those emotions.
Exactly. And then you can decide, okay, how do I want to respond to this?
Okay.
It's about becoming more aware of what's happening inside, so you can make choices that are in line with your values.
And there are different ways to practice that, right? Mindfulness.
Oh, yeah. Meditation's a great one. Journaling, even just taking a few deep breaths, tuning into your senses.
Yeah, I like that. Something else that really stuck with me from this article was the idea of embracing challenges, those tough moments, seeing them as opportunities for growth.
Right. It's easy to get discouraged when things go wrong, but Stoicism offers a different perspective.
It does.
It encourages us to see those obstacles not as failures, but as stepping stones. Like, what can you learn from this? Instead of dwelling on the negative.
It's such a powerful shift, isn't it?
It is. It really is.
Instead of beating yourself up over a mistake, you look for the lesson. You use it to fuel your growth.
That's the Stoic way.
And speaking of reframing, I think it's worth talking about those secrets themselves, It's easy to read that article and think, oh, this is about being secretive, emotionally detached. But that's not really the point, is it?
No, not at all. Remember, that word secrets, it's being used metaphorically. It's not about hiding who you are. It's about being deliberate, intentional, about what you choose to share and when, and recognizing that true strength, it comes from within.
Right.
And sometimes the strongest thing you can do is process things internally, not always look for that external validation.
It's about trusting your own inner compass, right?
Yes. And making choices that feel true to you, that align with your values.
I like that. We can all strive for that, whether we consider ourselves card-carrying Stoics or not.
Absolutely. It's a philosophy for everyone.
This has been such a great deep dive. We've gone from this kind of lighthearted article about secrets men keep to this profound exploration of Stoicism.
It's been quite a journey.
And I think there's a lot for our listeners to take away from this.
I agree.
But before we wrap up, I want to leave everyone with one final thought. This is something that the article mentioned. Keeping these matters private isn't about concealing oneself, but revealing the best version of oneself.
That's good.
So what does that make you think about? What personal secrets maybe could you reframe as opportunities to grow?
It's something to ponder, for sure. And remember, this journey of self-discovery, it's ongoing.
It is.
Whether you dive deeper into Stoicism or you just take away a few key principles, hopefully this deep dive has inspired you.
I think so too.
To embrace those challenges, cultivate that inner strength.
Right.
And strive to become the best version of yourself.
Well said. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
And until next time, keep exploring, keep diving deeper.